Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Set. Today's guest is nobody. There is no one on here today, not because I don't have someone to have on, but it's the 10th episode, so I figured, why not, take a moment to reflect back on the podcast, what I've been feeling, how I've been feeling about it, what people have been saying about it, and, just like kind of reflecting what I've been up to, like things that I've been up to, how my life is going, all that sort of stuff. Just kind of a moment for everyone to get to know me, and I don't know. I feel like the audience is a little bit disconnected with like who I even am, because the people who are helping me with all of this, they're saying, Jeremy, you got to make a personality of yourself. And I think I have a decent personality, but I figured this might be a good way to start that. I want to make content with the people that I'm interviewing and whatnot. So I think this will just be kind of like a start of that. I want to, if I have a golfer on here, I want to go play golf with that person. I think it'll be very funny if I'm golfing with a pro golfer, because I suck at it. So I'll be angry, mad, whatever. And you guys can laugh at it, because everybody loves laughing at other people's, suffering, playful suffering, not like, there's suffering out there that happens that isn't funny, but, watching someone get angry on a golf course and, be miserable on the golf course, I think will be quite fun. So anyway, so I wanted to just kind of reflect on the podcast, how it's been going and how I feel about it. And I really got to say, I appreciate all of the support that I've been getting from the podcast. It's been growing a lot quicker than I had initially anticipated. And I have a lot of people come up and tell me, hey, the podcast looks really good. You should be really proud of yourself and all of this good stuff. I see it come up on my TikTok or my Instagram or Facebook or, whatever social media you guys use, Grindr, I don't know. So I've been seeing, a lot of people say that stuff to me, and I really appreciate that. It's been fun. I'm really enjoying this. This was something that I wanted to do for quite some time, but I figured it might be one of those things that I get into it and I end up not liking it after I start doing it. And I know the first couple episodes have been a little rough, because, it was new for me, and, I'm trying to ask questions, and everybody pointed out like the first 2 or 3 episodes, I'm sitting there going, well, which I do say, a lot. This is actually the second time recording this solo podcast, because I didn't like the first one because I kept saying all the time. Every other sentence I was like, well, yeah, blah, 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 blah. It drove me nuts. So if I couldn't even stand listening to myself, and I'm pretty self-centered. So if I couldn't even listen to myself, I couldn't even imagine what you guys would have been going through. So really, you should be thanking me. Everybody should be thanking me for doing that. And I'm trying to be more careful, not stuttering and saying all the time. But regardless. Damn it. Anyway. Yeah, I've been really enjoying the support from everybody, and I'm incredibly grateful for everyone who has been, vocalizing that support, sharing stuff, watching the episodes, letting me know what they think about it. It's good to get the negative feedback as well to improve the show, because I don't want to create something that's boring and no one wants to watch, of course. So the other thing I wanted to ask, just because we're on the topic of the podcast, before I get into all the boring stuff about my life that no one wants to hear about, this corner over here, I would love to remodel. And when I say remodel, I just mean like changing a couple things about it. So I put this lava lamp, you might have noticed, I put this lava lamp in there, 2 episodes ago, and I really like it. However, when someone sits in this chair, you cannot see it. And I could solve that problem by just moving it to the left some, because there's about 2.5 feet gap, 2.5 foot gap. And, you know, I don't want to, it'll look weird if I take the lamp and I just pull it out of the wall. So I don't know if anyone has any suggestions on that, but let me know. It could be, I don't care. I also thought about putting another plant there, but I don't want it to be like between 2 ferns. So, because everyone, as soon as I do that, everyone's be like, oh, wow, look at him. He's copying between 2 ferns. So if anyone has any suggestions on that, that would be fantastic. I don't really know what the hell to do there because, not everything in my frontal lobe has developed yet. And by the way, that's not my fault. That's my dad's fault. He was 50, almost 50 when I was born. So it's all his fault why I am as slow as I am. So love you, Dad, but show went a little earlier. It was getting a little late. So anyway, what have I been up to? Yeah, I have been doing a lot. I've been keeping myself occupied, keeping myself busy as much as I can. I just recently had a birthday on May 7th, which is, funny enough, that's Mr. Beast's birthday. So Mr. Beast, if you're watching this, you and me share the same birthday, and I actually want you to come on the podcast. That's what I want. Just because we share the same birthday, no other reason. Just because we share the same birthday, I would like Mr. Beast to sit in this chair. That would be crazy. Go ahead and make that go viral. We'll see how that goes. So yeah, I just had a birthday. I don't really like birthdays all that much. I don't like celebrating my own birthday. I do like celebrating other people's birthdays. But when it comes down to it, all you're doing is celebrating surviving another year. And I never really understood birthdays. I mean, I guess you're celebrating the birth, but I don't remember that, I was born and I don't remember being born. So why am I celebrating it? I get it, like if my mom celebrates it or my dad celebrates it, but I celebrate my birthday with like my friends, but they weren't there either, Some of them weren't even born yet. So never made any sense to me. I never really liked it. It is cool though. Everyone kind of treats you a little differently on your birthday. They start to like you for about a day. And then when your birthday's over, it's like, okay, see you in a year. But, yeah, I don't celebrate birthdays. My birthday was quite boring. Me and my friends just kind of went out to eat. And the weekend prior, we, had a fire at my house, a lot of alcohol, dumb decisions, typical early 20s thing. And I'm not going to incriminate myself, but there was a 4-wheeler involved and things like that. So had a little bit of fun there, but yeah, I'm not fond of birthdays. I like I said, I like celebrating other people's birthdays because it gives me an excuse to like party. And I think that's all birthdays really are, is an excuse to party. Unless you're the person who has the birthday, it's kind of annoying. You go to a restaurant, they come out singing, and it was funny. We were at Applebee's actually, and the people came out and they started singing. And I thought they were coming out to sing for me, but they were going to sing for someone else. And I looked at all my friends and I was like, what the hell, guys? Like, don't be doing this to me. Because here's the thing about restaurants doing that birthday jingle thing. They hate it too. They don't like coming out and singing. It's weird. It's uncomfortable for both parties involved. Like, I don't understand who invented that and why restaurant chains just decide to come out and sing happy birthday. Because they come out and it's never like happy birthday, that takes too long. So they sit there and they do the clapping and, I'm sitting, anytime being sung to on your birthday is just the most uncomfortable experience. You don't know what to do with yourself. Like you sit there and you have to sit through someone singing to you, and there might be, a cake or something in front of you. You just kind of look at it And then you look at everyone like, you start tapping your leg. Like, why? Who invented that? Because it's so uncomfortable for everyone. I'm even uncomfortable singing happy birthday to somebody. And I don't know. It's never fun for either party. So anyway, these people, like our waitress, she comes out and I said, hey, like, listen, it is also my birthday. However, because I know it is just as torturous for you people as it is for me to come out and sing to me, I know the whole staff would much more appreciate it if you just gave me the little Sunday cup and you just went on about your day. And I go on about my day. We don't want to involve that whole awkward interaction. Plus the other thing, my friends are saying that they don't sing along. They're just going to sit there and laugh at me. So, and not that I care if my friends, they do that all the time, but everyone knows what I'm talking about. I don't even think I need to explain it. It's just awkward. So that's another reason I don't like birthdays. And I think they should be actually protested. So anybody, I guess it's probably part of policy though. If it's someone's birthday, we have to, go out and sing for these people who, to celebrate their birthday, but it's almost as equal torture as like waterboarding for both parties. So yeah, didn't do anything for my birthday, didn't get anything for my birthday. And I really don't care. It's, I got that Sunday cup at Applebee's. I was pretty content after that. I was like, okay, this is a good way, now it feels like my birthday. It didn't feel like my birthday up until that point. And this was at like 8:30 at night. And then when I got the Sunday cup, I'm like, okay, now I know it's my birthday for sure. It feels real now. Anyway, so the other thing I've been getting into recently, well, my friends have gotten me into, is this game called Bolt Action. And I'm a nerd. I like nerdy stuff. And it's this tabletop World War II strategy game, right? And basically, the gist of the game is you roll your dice and, it determines if you get to shoot at someone or blow something up or whatever with these little toy figurine soldiers that are on this like tabletop battlefield that is actually like, it's like 6 feet wide and like 4 feet long. 6 feet wide, 4 feet long. That's right. I took carpentry in high school too. I should know that. So it's this battlefield and you have these little toy soldiers and these little toy tanks and you roll them around the little city and you have all these different buildings and stuff you can go into, and it's cost a lot of money to do all this stuff. So sounds cool, right? Here's the thing. It takes so long before you can even start playing the game, because when you get your starter box from, the gaming company that has this game, you have to actually put together all of these little toy soldiers. So you have to put an arm on the guy, you have to put their head on, because you can customize each soldier, what weapon they have. And it doesn't seem that bad, but you also have to make 40 different infantry soldiers. So it becomes very time consuming. And then once you have them all together, then you have to paint them by hand. And I'm telling you, they're this big. And, you're gluing on these arms and stuff, and you have the dab of glue, and you're using tweezers sometimes to put on the arms and shit, and you drop one on the floor, and then it looks like, because the glue's all over it, it looks like something that a cat coughed up. So you got to pick it up and pull the hair off, and you just get really, angry, and you have this like massive headache and migraine, and then you start to realize like, man, if this gives me a massive migraine and headache, I can only imagine what the soldiers actually, like the headache they had when they were actually fighting, So yeah, it's just like, it's just very frustrating. So you're putting together all these guys, and you have to paint them, and you have to hand paint them with these tiny ass brushes, and you have to get like a magnifying light and put it over them, and so you can see close enough to paint in the details, like the color of their gun to their hand and their eyes and shit. And like I said, this is before you even get to play the game. So you're actually spending probably more time putting together your army than you're actually playing. But the game takes like well over 6 hours sometimes. And yeah, and the tank, when I saw the tank, I was like, oh boy, this is probably like, 4 pieces, maybe the tracks you got to put on and the top of the tank. No, it's not that. You are putting on like the little tow hooks on the tank, which are the head of a pin. You have to use tweezers to put those on, and you can't put too much glue on because then it's going to look bad, And now imagine you drop that little tow hook on the floor. It only comes with one. There's no like, oh, you lost one? Here's a second one that we provided just in case. No, it comes with one tow hook. So you have to look for it. And when your friend's basement is concrete, like the floor is concrete, it's gray, the pieces are gray, it's like a Where's Waldo mission. Like, you can't find it. So once you paint everything and it's all together, I mean, it's all nice to look at. It's like, man, you feel accomplished, but then you realize, oh, you have to actually play the game now. And I mean, you can play the game without painting your soldiers. You have to put the soldiers together to play it, but it's just a lot of, it's just a lot of tedious work. And I thought video editing was tedious, but this is like way worse. So I'd be getting into that game. It's pretty fun. Just, trying to eat up some of my time. And with the film side of stuff, can't really say much about it. See, this is the bad part about the film stuff. I would love to share everything that I'm up to, but you can't because, you have people's ideas that you are working with, and they're not your ideas. So there's risk of people stealing the ideas and whatnot. So I can't really say much. We just finished a film in March, and sometimes, you're not even like contractually obligated to not say anything. It's just unethical. And if you did say something, a lot of people will be angry. So I'm not going to say anything. I'll just shut up. But yeah, working on a lot of projects, and also with the podcast, is kind of going back to that again. I'm trying to, we're in the last 2 months, which is how long this has been going on, we've reached over 80,000 views across all platforms, which is kind of crazy. I did not expect it to grow that much. So now I'm kind of getting into that realm where I'm like, okay, let's try to look for sponsorships and stuff. And, if anyone's interested in sponsoring the podcast, it would be kind of cool to have, whoops, I keep bumping this and it's making me angry. You can, motherfucker. I think it'd be cool if we had like a drink here or something. Put something here I think would be really cool on this table right next to me. I could be sitting there. And here's the other thing too. I don't want to be like a sellout, I don't want to have someone's product that I'm like I don't really believe in. I'm just like, oh yeah, like here, yeah, I'll take it. Like if it's doing something good and like the idea behind it and the thought behind it is like cool, then, it gives me more of an incentive to be like, yeah, I can support that. But if there's like an energy drink here that I think tastes like dog doo-doo, I'm not going to sit here and sell it to you guys. Like, why would I do that? I don't even like it. And a lot of people do that, Like Logan Paul, there's no way he actually thinks Prime tastes that good. Like have you had that? Like it's very, very sweet. This is all my opinion, so he can't sue me. I'm not defaming. I just think that it doesn't taste good. So he likes to sue people. So yeah, I don't want something like that where I'm like, oh, this tastes like dog ass, and I'm just going to sit here and act like I like it. I want a product, that I actually enjoy because I think that's only fair and true and whatnot. Even if I don't use it personally, or if it's something that I'm not into, but I support the idea and message behind it, that makes sense as well. But like if it's like I don't know. Like I'm not going to put a dildo on my table here, So anyway, yeah, just really excited about the podcast and really been putting a lot of time and work into it, getting everything kind of situated and rolling. And other than that, though, I mean, I'm into tennis. If you guys actually watch all the way through the podcast episodes, I'm very into tennis. I'm an avid tennis watcher, avid tennis player. And so the weather's getting warm. I'm enjoying that the Pennsylvania weather is not total ass cheeks anymore. It is raining a lot recently, but the snow is gone. So tennis is back in. And I'm the same way with tennis as I am with golf. It's completely irritating when, you can hit the ball over the net, but you hit the net instead. It's very frustrating. And, I get pretty heated, and I've broken like $250 rackets. And, a lot of you guys are probably laughing at that thought, because, oh, how hard can tennis be? I know a lot of you probably don't watch tennis. It's not a popular, sport in the United States as much as like football or something. So there's a good chance that like a lot of you don't even watch it. So when you do see it on, you just think it, if you close your eyes, it kind of sounds like porn. It's just like, back and forth, and it's not that. Well, for sure it's not that, but it looks easy is what I'm trying to get at. It just looks like a very easy sport. How hard could it be to hit a ball over the net? But if you have never played tennis in your life and you go out onto a tennis court and you toss a ball in the air and you hit it, it's going to go flying because everybody thinks that they can just smack the ball as hard as they can, but then don't realize how far a tennis racket can actually launch a tennis ball. So there's a lot of control that you have to have, and it's a lot harder than people think. So the reason I enjoy watching tennis so much is because I know how hard it is. And then when you watch the pros, then you realize how shitty of a player I actually am. And it's like, oh, this sport is actually very hard to play. So, I think sometimes I go out there and I think I'm a pro. My side dream was kind of being like a professional tennis player. I'm a little too old for that now. Most tennis players turn pro at like 16, 17 years old. I'm way past that. So, yeah, that's not going to happen. But I do think it is a really good sport to get into, and I really enjoy playing it. I really like playing it whenever someone is way worse than me and I just destroy them. And that might be a form of bullying. However, I'm not on the bully. I'm not the one being bullied. So I don't really, I won. I don't feel bad about it. It actually makes them better. Now, if I'm on the other end of that, it's very unfortunate. Like, I don't like playing someone who's really, really good, because then I get angry and mad and throw a temper tantrum. So, yeah, I'd much rather be playing the person who's really sucky, and I feel better about myself. Also, just want to clear up some things. I'm extremely sarcastic, so if anybody thought that that was a serious joke, it was not. I feel like I don't have to say that, but some people were probably like, wow, what a dick, and thought it was serious. So, yeah, getting into tennis again, I'm really enjoying that. And, yeah, really excited about the podcast. If anyone's also, by the way, if anyone's interested in coming on the podcast as a guest, I'll leave the form below for anyone to click on it and kind of fill out the questionnaire. I have it pretty public so that, I can just kind of have a long list of people, especially women. I'm looking for more women to come on. I know this is like a very dude podcast and a lot of testosterone is on this set, but I'm looking to talk to more influential women and, women of stature and other words to describe, I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say. So definitely looking for that, because I've had one woman on and the rest have been men. And I do have a balance of my viewership is 50% men, 50% women, which I think is kind of crazy. Like I don't know what is appealing about this show, but I mean, hey, that's fine. If women enjoy watching, that's great. I just think we talk about a lot of dude stuff, so it might not be as interesting, but I don't know. Anyway, yeah, so I just want to say I appreciate everybody's support, and you've all been fantastic supporting the podcast, and I've been hearing a lot of great things. And I do want to give just a little bit of a hint on a future guest that is coming on. I've been working at this for about 2.5 months now, trying to get this guy on here. That's your only hint. Well, that's one hint, that he's a man. And two, he is extremely well known. Some people think he's infamous. Some people think he's famous. I'm not going to give my opinion on it, but he is one of the most well-known men in America. So I'm finally having him come on. It took a lot of work, but it's just a little bit of a hint. And I'm very excited to release that episode. We haven't filmed it yet. It's a very small window of time to film it, but I'm hoping to get it out within the next month and a half. Get it booked in and get him in here. I've had to go through a lot of legal things to get him on here, but that's the closest I can say without really giving it away. But I think everyone's going to be very happy about it, and I'm very excited about it. I'm actually very really excited about it. So he'll be coming on, and yeah, that's really all I wanted to kind of come on here and talk about. Solo episode I thought would be kind of fun. I wish I had more to say, but I don't really, because my life isn't really all that crazy. Like I feel like to the outsider, a lot of people are like, wow, like, you do a lot of stuff, but really when you scratch the surface and you're like, I have a podcast. That's it. That's all I can do to explain it. I have a podcast, I try to be funny on it. It doesn't work, but I try. I make movies. I can't say much about it. We're trying. It's not really all that exciting. Like, it sounds cool, but it's not. I mean, it is cool, but it's not as crazy. Like, people think I'm Mr. Hollywood, and I'm just not Mr. Hollywood. I'm Mr. Local town. Like, I'm not famous or anything. It is kind of cool though to get recognized in public. They're with the podcast, actually. It's funny because I've spent 5 years working on film and trying to get my film out there and all that stuff. But more people out in public recognize me for the podcast, and it's only been actively running for 2 months. So it feels like all that work that I did for so long is just like right out the window. But eventually I'll be known for the stuff that I'm very passionate about, which, don't get me wrong, the podcast is very passionate about it, but the film is like, my dream, and it's slowly coming true. The other thing I wanted to kind of, do, I think that could be very helpful for the audience, is to bring someone on here that can kind of give advice to, the audience, like you guys, and kind of my best example of this, and this it doesn't have to be this, but like maybe like a therapist, like talk about mental health, and me and that therapist kind of go into it a little bit. Like, I get a little deep, so you guys kind of learn a little bit more about me, but at the same time, they can give advice to you. I don't want to do like a live therapy session. That's not what my goal is. So I don't want to be like sitting here and like by the end of it, I'm like, I don't want to do that. But I think that would be beneficial, like a guest like that. But if you have any guest suggestions, also shoot them my way. We're kind of looking for people with a decent following, but not quite like, I can't see the thing when you get into a certain level of like celebrity or like person with a following, they want money, and they want money to come on as a guest. I don't really want to do that just yet. Like I can, but I don't want to. So I think that we should avoid that for now. But any like mid tier, someone who just like doesn't give a shit and was like, yeah, sure, like I'll come on. Yeah, so that's all. I just want to come on here and say thank you, basically, and talk a little bit about myself and what's going on. And I'm hoping to do more of these solo episodes in the future. So I'll be looking forward to that. And yeah. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and share also. It's completely free. It doesn't cost anything. It supports the channel a lot, supports everything. And I will see you all in the next episode.